Hey everybody, welcome back to another great episode of the Choking Hazard Podcast. And today we got two amazing athletes. We're sitting down with Kieran Kichuk and Matt Hnatejko, who are competing together on the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Championship happening on November 27th. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to see more great podcasts, interviews, coaches, athletes, technique breakdowns, and all other sorts of stuff, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and don't forget to like and share with your friends. We appreciate all your support that you guys have been giving us, and we want to keep providing you guys with more great content. Thanks everybody for the support, and we'll see you soon on the mats. All right, welcome back to another great episode of the Choking Hazard Podcast. We are again set with another two great athletes for the lightweight division for a super fight NoGi 6-minute time match. We've got Matt Hnatejko and Kieran Kichuk that are joining us on the podcast. This is going to be fantastic. This event is happening on November the 27th in Toronto, Ontario, and it's Ace JiuJitsu Pro Championships. It's going to be a smoke show. It's going to be great. So, boys, how are we doing today? Thanks so much for joining us.
Doing great today. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. This is my first podcast, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing good too. Glad to be here. It's my second podcast, but my first podcast with more than one guest, so I'm not sure when to talk.
So generally how we say this, like, it's always kind of like, take that 1 second. If anybody says anything, be that person to like jump into the conversation more than anything. But again, it's more like have some fun. And again, we get it for the most part is that you guys are going to be super respectful during this podcast. Because again, it was jiu-jitsu, you guys like each other, there's no animosity. But the reality is both of you want to win. I know that's the case, right? You guys are gunslingers. You're there to win. You want to put on a show. That's the reality. So let's talk about that, because who's going to really want to come out on top? That's a question, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everybody wants to win. We're here to compete, but I like to kind of push the pace and put on a show. We got people watching, so we want to make it exciting and want to be able to make sure we get invited back and don't want to have no slow stalemate matches.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like, I'm super confident this season. I'm training for NoGi Worlds at the end of the season, and I'm in the best shape of my life, and I feel the best that I've ever been at jiu-jitsu. Yeah, my confidence is like it's not an issue for me anymore. I feel I'm pretty lax about every match. I always expect that I'm gonna win, and that's, yeah, I'm just confident. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I always feel the same.
Perfect. So obviously when you look at training schedules, obviously everybody kind of has their own daily life, whether you're a professional athlete, working at a real job. Like, how is the training going in general as far as both of you guys?
The training's going great for me, actually. Normally when I would compete, I just kind of, train here and there, but this time I've actually picked it up and I'm able to get in the gym a lot more, and we're pushing hard and no injuries and feeling the best I've ever felt. Flowing amazing, so I'm excited to put on a show.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because your training's going great. On my part, I got a great routine set up. I got a good group of guys circulating through. So every day I've got, at least one session where I'm rolling with NoGi black belts, and then another session where I'm working on stuff on blue belts, purple belts, brown belts. But yeah, everything's just, since the NoGi pans, people have wanted to be in the training room with me, so things have been going super smoothly since then. Because before then we were having some trouble getting everyone in one spot to train with each other, but now it's happening.
That's awesome. For both of you, I guess this is a question: is training wise, has anything changed in your preparation for this? Is there anything specific you're adding in to, enhance your training for this match coming up? Like, is there any like specific training for, like, let's say Matt versus Kieran or Kieran against Matt? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Training's changed a little bit, but not too much. When you get to this level, it's pretty much whoever can get to their positions first and able to implement their game plan. but I have been working a lot more on my heel hook defense. As I can see, he's a bit of a heel hooker, so just tightening that up a little bit more.
So hold on
but
one second. Did you just call Kieran a hooker?
The audio
Partly,
cut out a
partly.
touch. Yeah.
Oh, did it? I said heel hooker, but
Okay, just to clarify, go ahead.
yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, but same thing, just pushing the pace in the gym and working on my game plan, and that's what I want to enforce.
Nice. Yeah, for this one, I'm just anticipating I was anticipating a 6-minute match, and I think that's what it is. So I've been working on, getting on top quick, right? We don't have a lot of time to work. I want to get to if there's a glaring opportunity, I'll take the leg lock, but I expect at this point everyone's expecting me to go for the legs, and everyone's going to be pretty well prepared. So I've been working a lot on my top game and getting up to a passing position really quick, so I have time to work.
So, Kieran, especially like being on so many different types of, whether it's a call out tournaments, obviously you've been on a bunch of other shows before on the grand stage, especially with the ADCC. When you look at like a tournament like Ace JiuJitsu Pro, especially with something that's happening in Canada, where do you kind of like, are you kind of excited to be like part of like, this is now the second event. You've obviously saw the first one, obviously seeing that experience of some of your other teammates going. Are you excited to get onto this card and then kind of like help push this event for further?
Yeah, I think the exciting thing about this card is how local it is, but also how professional it is, right? Because it's gonna showcase the skills that we have here in Canada that haven't gotten a whole lot of attention, right? Because people aren't just getting their foot in the door on these pro shows, and like there's people I know in Canada who would be killing it, like especially some of these gym shows I show up to. Sure, there's like 2 or 3 good black belts, but there's also like a bunch of guys that are not as good as other people I know. It's just about people getting their foot in the door on the pro scene, getting some eyes on them, and that it's really exciting that Fernando and everyone else is putting this opportunity together for Canadians. And as someone who does have a little bit of exposure on the pro scene, I'm happy to help promote it and be on it and put on a show.
Do you feel like these are the shows that are probably needed at this point to, because me and Aaron have discussed this a bunch of times. Like there's so many tournaments in the local scene in Ontario and across the country. Is this something that is needed to now take jiu-jitsu to the next level with Ace Jiu-Jitsu, what Fernando and what Jeff Santos are doing?
Yeah, I think this is the right thing. We got plenty of like IBJJF tournament formats. But this is like the first real pro one that we've actually had. I mean, I'm sure there's been a couple other ones I might be ignorant, but I feel like this is the best one. It's the one that I've been watching, the one that I like. And yeah, I do like that they're also putting on NoGi matches, because I do think that Canada is a little bit far behind when it comes to NoGi in terms of not only just like the technique, but the attitude about it. And I don't want everyone, I want to get some more eyes on the NoGi aspect, because if there's any kids out there or people, the generation coming after me who want to get into pro jiu-jitsu, the time to start training NoGi is sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Especially like this show, it's bringing more eyeballs to Canada. Before this, you pretty much had to travel to the States or somewhere in order to be known. But now we should be able to do it within our little community, and then we can just spread out from there.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully, the community is supportive and receptive and likes it, because it's all on them. If they don't want to watch, then it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, it's on us to put on a good show. That's what we got to do. We'll make them want to watch it.
Exactly. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I think especially when you look at like Ace, is like the idea of, especially even as commentators working with Fernando and Tony again, and Jeff, sorry, it's all about getting to that next level, getting to that next step. So it's how do we, obviously this time we have the 8-man tournament happening with the heavyweights. Okay. So what's the next step after that? Is it going to be a all female division card, or is it going to be just like add that extra level? When both you guys kind of look at it as like, okay, what could be a next step? What do you, as athletes, more than anything, right now you're involved in this card, but like, you know, even I don't want to talk about moving ahead, but it's like, you know, what do you want to see out of these things?
I like to see more opportunity. Like it'd be cool if we could almost start getting some ranks and some championships within Canada, and we can compete. And that way, when the big tournaments in the States pop up, we know the guys that are going to go. Everybody can support them. Everybody local knows them. Like some gyms don't know the good guys at the other gyms, and it's just going to unite everybody. And I think that's just going to make everybody evolve.
Nice. The next step I feel would be getting some more prolific tournaments in. So like ADCC is doing an open in Ottawa in April, and I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, because it's got the ADCC label attached to it, and ADCC is bigger than ever. It's going to draw names up at the very least from the northern states, and people might even be flying across the continent, you know, to get it. Because I also I do know that like your performances at these opens, they're going to accumulate points that affect your seeding at the trials, right? And trials is an 8-match tournament. It's a 256-man division they cut it off at. If you can get, you know, a nice seeding and get a breezy day one and get 4 quick submissions, that's awesome. So people are going to want to accumulate those points. So that's huge. And then the next thing I think is getting American athletes up here. And the only way to do that is with prize money. So that's what I want to see more of.
I think with like Ace, for example, it's like a good step in the right direction where you can eventually even attract maybe some people from there to come up here, even though like this is going to be more of like a homegrown like GTA like show. That could be something that can happen in the future as well.
Yeah, I do know that the Copa, like the 8-man bracket, is always going to be reserved for Canadian residents.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's good. And then the super fights, or they'll put on anybody basically.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good because it kind of stays true to Jeff's and Fernando's vision about, again, showcasing Canadian athletes. And that was the whole premise of the whole show. It was to give you guys the opportunity to showcase your skills and build off that. And it wasn't about trying to build up the American scene or anything like that. It was all about Canadians, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Perfect. So, Matt, obviously you're going up against Kieran's got a resume attached to him, right? So this is a big task ahead of you. When you look at obviously how your training's going, the game planning that you put out, like what would a win over Kieran Kichuk mean if you're able to secure that victory November 27th?
Oh, it's just like any other victory. I just love to compete and perform, and like I'm actually honored to go against a high level guy like him. I see all his accolades and he seems pretty good, but yeah, win over him just keeps me going forward, keeps me in the right spot. Hopefully I get on the next card and yeah, show that these old guys can still do it.
And
no,
Kieran,
that's not like that's not a bad position to be in, you know. Like I'm not saying that I'm that anyone's underestimating anyone, but when I felt that when I would compete in the IBJJF against like all these athletes from Brazil, I'm just some, you know, Canadian kid with long hair at the time and whatever, people would underestimate me. And like that was actually something that I could thrive on. So that's like, it's not always a bad position to be in, but I'm not going to make a mistake. I don't underestimate anyone, respecting everyone's skills.
Awesome.
Exactly.
That's what keeps your legs intact.
So my question for both of you, Matt, going into the super fight with Kieran, what do you want to say to him now that he's live and he can hear you? And Kieran, what do you want to say to Matt?
I just say, come prepared. Let's push the pace and put on a show, and the best man that night will win. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go to the scorecard. One of us are going to get the finish.
And what I want to say to Matt is, hi, Matt. Nice to meet you. And also,
yeah,
hi, Matt.
Yeah, let's throw down, man. You know what it is. I'm always trying to scrap in my jiu-jitsu matches. And you know, thanks for making the commitment to meet me out there and actually throw down. Let's go for some subs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Beautiful. So to wrap up for both of you, Matt, we'll start with Matt. Any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out, your promo code, and then Kieran, the same thing for you.
No sponsors. I just shout out to my gym, Precision Mixed Martial Arts. We're going to have a lot of guys up and coming that you'll be seeing in the future. And my promo code is 014.
All right. I just want to say thanks to my sponsors, Flawless, Core Performance. Those guys, like especially Chris, keeps me held together for training, and Flawless keeps me looking nice. Kieran 15 at flawless.com gets you 15% off your purchase as well. I have a false reap instructional coming out on BJJ Fanatics. It'll be out in the next, I think, probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Very nice.
So if you want to support me, local, check it out. It's good information too.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I do appreciate you guys jumping on. It's been a pleasure having you guys speak, especially towards the show and obviously for the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Championships. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great matchup. Mike and I will definitely be ringside. We'll be commentating through the entire match. So we're going to have a blast watching you guys go at it. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it.
Me and Aaron will once again be doing commentary and armchair quarterbacking, everything everybody does.
Absolutely. I should have done this, but no. But what will we know?
I'm just saying I would have did this, but I suck.
I'll review it for notes. Maybe I'll actually take your advice.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
They're right.
It's like, what the hell is Mike talking about? That's just terrible information.
He got a bad view. He can't see shit.
He can't see shit. What's he doing?
Awesome. Well, boys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So everybody remember November 27th in Toronto, Ontario, we have the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup. Then we have Kieran and Matt, both lightweight championship or lightweight super fight. It's going to be awesome. All right, boys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. Can't wait. Hopefully see everybody there.
We'll see you there.
Matt. Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, guys.